Hey, my friends. So we are going to work on making the body of our dragon. Last time I saw you, we worked on drawing our dragon head and adding color to it. The body of our dragon, we're going to do a box fold. So I like to do mine with different colors, and I just have pieces of paper. But if you do not have different colors, you can start with one. You can even color it if you would like. So regular notebook size paper, here's what you're going to do. Short sides together or long sides together. It depends on the length. So folding short sides together, you're going to get a much shorter paper and a smaller box fold. Long sides together, you're going to have more paper to weave and fold together. So I am actually going to do mine long sides together. You get fewer pieces, but they're longer and easier to weave together. So you're going to fold it in half once, fold it in half again, and then go ahead one more time, which this one is kind of tricky because it gets very, very thick. Now, these are not all perfect, but it's pretty close, and it will work for what we need. So when we open it up, we're going to cut them apart. Just right on those fold lines. Remember, we're going to weave them together so it does not have to be perfect. So I'm going to do one more because this will be enough for what we are doing today. I'm also going to take one of my crayons and give my papers a slightly different color. So if I take my crayon, and because we're weaving them, it doesn't have to be a good color, meaning that our colors touch and there's none of the paper showing through. It can be kind of shaded in or a rough color, and that will work for what we are doing today. Plus, I'm going to do this really quickly because you do not need to watch me color. That's really silly. Now, as you work on your own, you are able to go ahead and switch colors. You can change them. So here are my papers with my two different colors. Because my lighting is not really good, it doesn't look like a different color. So I'm going to do this. Let me see. Does that show up? That does. Okay. So even though I have colored my whole paper, some of it you can see better than others. So I'm going to do a really, really dark scribble because that way you are able to see, because you being able to see the difference between the colors is what's really important. So here's where my glue comes in. Yeah, we don't usually use glue sticks and they're not my favorite, but this is what I have and this is what will be easy. I'm going to put a dot on one corner. That's it. Just one dot on one corner, and I'm going to glue my two papers so they look like an L. So I'm going to put this over top, and I've now glued them together so I have my capital L shape. This part where they are connected is where we're going to fold all of the papers over. Here's the trick. Ready? Hold that down. Do not pick the paper up. You want to leave it down flat on the table. So when I look here, my lighter blue is on top. So I'm going to take my purple, holding that corner down, and come up and over and fold it right along the edge of that paper. Now my purple is on top, so I'm going to bring my blue. Notice I'm not picking this up off the table. If you do, it will get wrapped around the bottom and it will not do the spring and the box fold won't work. So I'm holding it down. My opposite color comes up and over and I hold it down. My opposite color comes up and over, and I hold it down. At no point in time have I picked my paper up off the table. I am holding it down flat as I am alternating my colors over that same square. Now, you're going to notice it's not going to stay just that perfect square, and that is okay. We're going to hold it down on the table and go back and forth and back and forth, alternating the colors on top, never picking it up off the table. It stays flat, because if you pick it up off the table, you will get confused about which color needs to go up and over. So ready? Now, before I glue, I'm going to hold those last few. That is the box fold. See how it will spring out? So going back to the top, this is the last piece that I folded in. Just like I started with one little bit of glue, I'm going to end that way and put a little bit of glue and glue those together. And this is how we're going to build my dragon body. So ready? One more time. This time I'm going to use very different colors so that you can see clearly. Again, one, we're going to glue them together so they look like a capital L. I have green and blue this time. This corner of the L is where all of my papers get stacked and folded up and over. What you need to make sure you do is this never leaves the table. So because my green is on top, my blue paper is going to come up and over and fold. Now my blue is on top, so my green comes up and over and fold, and alternate those colors, but make sure it stays on the table. That's the trick. If you pick it up in your hands, the folding goes much quicker, but it ends up wrapped around the bottom. So instead of up and over, you end up wrapping it underneath or turning your paper upside down so it wraps around, and that's not what we want. We are holding this down flat on the table. When we're done, a little bit of glue. And that's our dragon body. So when I build my dragon body, I'm going to use 3 or 4. It's up to you, but you're going to create the different sets of box folds. And as you add them together, it's going to create your dragon body. So I'm not really going to twist this out too much because I just glued them together. Even though I am using glue sticks and it sticks quickly, it doesn't dry. So if I go ahead and try to stretch this out, we run into the problem of the glue's not dry yet, so it's not going to hold together. So those are the box folds for creating our dragon's body. All right, guys, have fun.